Hello everyone! A year ago, Anbernic launched the 35XX SP, a GBASP replica. Despite its screen not being pixel perfect, its clamshell form and classic design were well received. Anbernic then brought out the 34XX and 34XX SP with 3x integer scaling for GBA screens, thus broadening their replica range. Back in 2021, they even tried replicating the GBM with the RG300X. This year they've expanded again, bringing us the RGDS, which replicates the look of the NDS. It features two 4-inch 640 by 480 screens and looks quite similar. They've also finally ditched the legacy all-winner H700 processor. It now runs on the RK3568 chip. To better support various other systems, they've integrated an extra set of joysticks. Today, I'll test it out with my own devices to evaluate how proficient it is. Not a faithful, exact replica. It's just standard packaging. Inside, you'll find the RGDS console. Take out the device and underneath is the manual. For first-time handheld users, I suggest reading it thoroughly. There are also two tempered screen protectors. The box includes a capacitive stylus, with a thick tip on one end and a fine one on the other. This small box contains a USB-A to C charging cable. It has a 4000 mAh battery, charging at 7.5 watts. As a replica, we'll skip the solo appearance check. I'll compare it with two original consoles. Weight-wise, the RGDS is 314 grams, the NDS-ILL is 315 grams, and the NDS-I is 216. It weighs 279 grams, so its size and weight are very close to the NDS-ILL. The RGDS lacks a camera on the A side, but the B side is almost an exact replica. There are buffer pads on both sides and 4 rubber caps covering the screw holes. The DS hinge area only has a microphone, while the NDS also has a front-facing camera. Looking at the C side, the button area features a D-pad and ABXY buttons that have been shifted slightly upwards to accommodate the joysticks. Both the ABXY buttons and the D-pad on the RGDS utilize dome switches, which give them a relatively light and responsive feel when pressed. These particular joysticks are These are very basic carbon film joysticks, with a rather mediocre feel. The 4 function buttons also use dome switches, but they're a tad firmer than the ABXY. I sense that the dome switch's feel, especially on the upper section, is quite similar to the touch of my NDSi, providing a comparable tactile experience. There's not much to say about the back of the device, just the brand inscription. On top, the RGDS is equipped with R1, R2, L1, and L2, which use microswitches. From left to right, the RGDS has a TF card slot, an extended C port, and a charging C port. The bottom houses a 3.5mm headphone jack with a lanyard hole on each side. The power and volume buttons for the RGDS are on its right side. The NDS, conversely, has its stylus and TF card slot in this spot. The RGDS stylus requires separate storage. There's nothing on the left side of the DS. That's it for the exterior. Next, we'll see how it plays NDS games. Here we can look at the RK3568 benchmark scores, which are quite close to the RK3566. It runs Android 14 with 3GB RAM and 32GB storage. This is sufficient for most NDS games. It's perfectly fine, and you can even apply some filters. Since both the upper and lower screens are one and the same, there's absolutely no visual disparity between them. Interactive games feel significantly more comfortable to play. It also comes preloaded with the Drastic emulator, boasting excellent compatibility. However, certain 2D games do demand a precise pixel-to-pixel rendering. However, this particular screen is incapable of achieving a true full-screen display when operating in that designated mode. Therefore, let's now proceed to conduct a thorough comparison of its display performance against the original device in order to highlight any notable distinctions or improvements. Of course, if you really want to enable integer scaling, you can do 2x scaling and then turn on a bezel. This makes the display area even smaller, with a larger gap between the screens. The NDS has a lot of touch-based games. This device runs Android 14, and although the chip's performance is a bit low, the touch controls are generally responsive, so there are no issues there. Regarding the performance of this machine for playing 3DS games, you'll find it can barely manage. If you can even get one game to function, consider yourself lucky. So, if your primary intention for purchasing this device is to play 3DS games, then I definitely would not suggest it. For other platforms, especially older 4x3 home consoles, playing on a single screen is completely fine. You can simply use one display, but currently, the software only supports turning off the upper screen. You can also try playing PSP games, but its performance is comparable to the RK3566, so the results aren't ideal. Forget about playing games like God of War. As an Anbernic Android device, it offers additional features such as AI translation and simultaneously displaying different content on the top and bottom screens. However, in my personal opinion, this type of machine is a specialized machine, designed predominantly for playing NDS games. Anbernic excels at crafting shells, providing the device with a premium tactile feel. Its weight, length, and width are almost identical to the NDS ILL, so its ergonomic grip is quite similar. The device features a stepless hinge, which Anbernic has meticulously calibrated to. Quite well. I personally find the opening and closing force to be just right. It has a smooth feel, and it can stay at any angle within 180 degrees. Even if quality problems arise, Anbernic's after-sales support in the industry is relatively good. A flip-top dual-screen device is also easy to store and quite portable. The main downside, in my opinion, is still the price. Though the original hardware is dated and its screens show age, the original unit's price is very low. The NDS holds high regard among handhelds, boasting many games. Numerous 2D titles demand pixel-perfect display for satisfaction. Thus, without such a screen, the RGDS at 649 yuan, I believe, is simply uncompetitive. It's not competitive enough. It would certainly be better if one could acquire it at a more affordable cost. Alright everyone, today was solely an initial unboxing experience. I will definitely keep experimenting with this machine later on. Alright everyone, here's a little Easter egg. There are 3 colors launched this time. Besides white and this red-black, there's also a blue one. The blue one I think takes some inspiration from the classic 3DS. Among these 3 colors, I personally prefer the red and black one. The striking contrast of red and black looks great, giving it a premium feel. Also, the complementary pen is now black. This time, Anbernic took pre-orders on JD.com and they're giving away 20 Midu memberships. If you need one, you can private message me to get it. That's all for this episode. See you next time.